Here we have the Freshwater Tackle Club, February 2022 Bass and Yellow Belly box. Let's jump in and check it out. Starting off with the surface. From Fishcraft, the Fishcraft Snoop Dogs. This is a little stick bait or pencil bait kind of a lure. So with this one, long cast out and just twitch your rod up and down as you're winding it, just making this walk the dog essentially. Walk left and right, add heaps of pauses in, especially while it's lingering near some structure, and enjoy catching some surface bass. Next up after that one, we're getting a little bit deeper into the water column, so we're gonna move on to the Fishcraft Squirmer. So, lucky me, I've actually got two colors here, identical, just one surface and one subsurface. So the Squirmer here is like a jointed hard body swim bait hybrid with a soft tail. Quite unique. Essentially it's just like a little crankbait with a jointed crankbait essentially. So this one here is only a shallow diver. So it's only going to dive about 30 centimeters under the water. So what I'm thinking here is edge bite, where you've got that thick weed coming up. You can swim this straight over the top of that edge without having to worry about it diving too deep and just getting tangled up in all that weed every time, which is perfect if the bass aren't really committing to coming up for that surface strike all the time. Something a little bit deeper can always entice them to actually have a go and land you a fish. Now, if you're fishing around really heavy structure, like some timber or some rocks or whatever, then crazy spinnerbait here, 3/8 of an ounce. It's a TW type spinnerbait with some sexy ass looking blades on it. I've got a chartreuse, sort of a teal color here, which is gonna be great in the dirty water. Also does work in the clearer water as well, but something like this, I'm thinking a little bit sort of tannin or stained water is gonna be great. But with the spinnerbait, obviously highly snag resistant, so you can cast this in amongst your trees or in amongst your fallen timber, your rocks, and most of the time you will get it out. Fantastic for togas as well. So if you're ever fishing in some of those dams or rivers that do have Saratoga, this is also going to be perfect for that. I like to let it sink down deeper into the structure before I sort of give it one crank into a slow to medium wind, just to get those blades going, and then you're all set. If you're out in the deeper water, a great way to fish this, especially if you've got a sounder and you can see some schooled up fish, is with a vibe. So I've got one here. This is the Tremor 65 from Damiki. Loud rattle in that one, but you can just drop this straight down and just vibe up and down. Or what I like to do, if I know if I've sounded like where the school of fish is sitting, back my boat or kayak up a bit so that within casting distance I can cast past that school and work this straight through the middle of them. Or do the classic cast out, let it sink down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winds, pause, let it sink down again, just cover that whole bottom of the water column. So often your bass will be down the bottom looking for food if they are active. Now, last but not least, the Damiki DC 100 series crankbait. And this is a very nice color, I quite like this one, but this is gonna be great for structure as well. Probably not real heavy structure, that's where I'd go for the spinnerbait, but if you're working like an edge along a drop off or something, or you've got some vertical trees where you can rip this through, some of that vertical standing timber, this is going to be great. You can just give it a few cranks down and straight into a slow to medium retrieve. You can even just let it pause a bit, let it float around a little bit, and you're laughing. Very easy to work, but obviously not going to be as snag resistant as your spinnerbait, but we do like to cover multiple bases here. If you want to check out the Bass and Yellas box or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au. Pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.